Alright, recording should be started. Everything should be good. Hey everybody, welcome to Silent Hill, which is a game that I recently played for the first time in my life. Probably just 2 months ago. And, obviously it's a very, very popular game. Most people have heard of it. But, surprisingly, a lot of people haven't played it, especially in my age group, early 20s. And, I've been wanting to show it off to a lot of my friends. And rather than, I know it's probably not something they would want to outright play themselves or anything like that. So I have that's starting on its own. Also, really quickly, I'm going to open up my own hitbox skin so I can get the chat open just in case anybody says anything. But yeah, I'm just showing off the game. I'm going to let it speak for itself. I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to I'll talk over the gameplay, but cutscenes I'll let them speak for themselves and all that. Let me just get this pop-out chat. There it is. And I'll just move this somewhere where I can see it. And there's another attract mode, that should be good. And really quickly, I'm gonna mute my mic and unmute it. I don't know if that actually worked. I've heard when I mute my mic, you can still kind of hear me, or you can still kind of hear my computer. Hopefully there aren't any problems with that. Anyway. Let's not delay this any longer. Let's actually start the game. So yeah, Silent Hill is a survival horror series. It's actually pretty popular, but recently it's kind of been going kind of eh. But let's actually start. And we're gonna play it on normal because I'm gonna be honest. I just want to kind of enjoy the game. Also, I'm gonna let the game go for itself. So I'll talk to you when this is over. The first thing people usually think when they see the beginning of this game is they think that it doesn't have voice acting, but that's actually one of the few times it doesn't. Whenever Harry has his thoughts, they aren't actually voiced. In a second you'll actually hear him talk. Excuse me.
Where are you going? Hey, wait! Stop!
But it is actually pretty funny, because I remember in the early days of YouTube, I would see people upload gameplay footage of this game, and I kind of hate when people do this, but they would usually voice the lines themselves because, they think you're too dumb to read it. So they'd always voice the lines, and they'd always be surprised that he actually talks. I find it amusing. Also, just as a quick note, there is a lot of parts of this game that are quiet. Hopefully my mic doesn't have a lot of background noise. I hope you can't just hear me breathing in the background. If you can, I apologize. I do actually have some minor breathing problems, so if anyone hears that and notices, just let me know and I'll adjust my mic accordingly. Something to note is in this introductory sequence is, I'm just going to say this before I move on. This introductory sequence, you can actually kind of explore the town, but only through some trickery, some stuff you're not actually supposed to be able to do. If you try to get too far away, Harry will just be like, hey, I gotta go get Cheryl. But if you pause during the same frame that cutscene starts, you'll skip it, and you'll be able to move throughout the entire town. I'll say more on that in a minute. As a quick note, I am currently using an emulated computer version of the game, mostly just because even though I do have the PlayStation 1 copy and a PS3 version, which is technically emulated, I don't have the equipment to record it right now. So I'm mostly doing this just to show it off. What if I could? So if you see any minor graphical glitches, that is probably why. I hope it is not too much of a problem. But yeah, another thing to note is when you're free roaming the town, you can actually kind of trick the game into ending, because you can just find Cheryl, and when you run into her, the game ends. So a legal speedrun of this game is about 2 minutes. It's pretty funny. I've always liked the camera effects in this game. And like I said, I played this for the first time in my life. Oh, hold on, cutscene. Oh yeah, it's one of those ones I have to actually confirm. Like I said, I actually played this for the first time in my life this year, like 2 months ago. I've seen people play it a bit, never saw the whole thing, but I actually was very, very impressed. In fact, I would outright say this is probably the best PlayStation 1 game out there. I'm not necessarily saying it's my favorite, but I mean, like, it's one of the best looking, best sounds. Despite what people say, I think it has some of the best voice acting. A lot of cool stuff. Also, 1 second, I'm gonna mute my mic. Again, I've heard you can still kind of hear me, so if I sound like an idiot, yeah, sorry. Oh. So right now the game is running at it's running at a very low frame rate, so that is not the stream or anything like that, so just keep pointing that out for you.
What is this? What's going on here?
And without any explanation, we are suddenly attacked by a bunch of these guys. So we don't really have anything to do right now except just outright run away. Oh. Except now a new problem has presented itself to us, and that our only exit is disappeared. And we're left with no other option but to just die.
Was I dreaming?
How do you feel?
Oh, like I've been run over by a truck. But I'm alright, I guess.
Glad to hear it. You from around here? Why don't you tell me what happened?
Wait a second, I'm just a tourist. I came here for a vacation. I just got here. I don't know what happened. I'd like to find out myself. Have you seen a little girl? Just turned 7 last month. Short, black hair. My daughter.
Sorry. The only person I've seen in this town is you.
Where is everybody?
I'd tell you if I knew, believe me. But from what I can tell, something bizarre's going on. That's all I know. What's your name?
Harry. Harry Mason.
Sybil Bennett. I'm a police officer from Brams, the next town over. The phones are all dead, and the radio too. I'm going back to call in some reinforcements. Hold it. Where do you think you're going?
My daughter. I've got to find her.
No way. It's dangerous out there.
In that case, I need to find her now. Cheryl's my little girl. I can't just leave her out there by herself.
Have you got a gun?
No.
Take this, and hope you don't have to use it. Now listen to me. Before you pull the trigger, know who you're shooting. And don't do it unless you have to. And don't go blasting me by mistake. Got it?
Yeah, thanks.
You do best to stay nearby. I'll be back with help as quick as I can.
I'm back. Really quickly, I'm just gonna check some stuff out, make sure the stream's going alright. So, I'm gonna pause it, and I'm gonna open up the stream app browser, so forgive me. Just making sure everything looks fine. No, I don't want to open up that. Let's go to Hitbox. There we go. Just making sure everything looks fine. And yeah, it looks like everything's going alright. So, something I did notice, or I am noticing, is that the cutscenes are pretty low in the frame rate. The thing is, the game on its own, the actual version of the game runs like maybe mid-low 20s in the frame rate, so that is kind of supposed to be that way. I'm just pointing that out there. But the cutscenes themselves, especially the FMVs, they were a bit lower than I remember, so hopefully that's not too big of a problem. Also, Brandon, if you're still in the chat, I want you to do me a favor real quick. I'm going to mute my mic, and I just want you to tell me if you can hear me or if you hear background music, because I do notice that my mic kind of peaks even when I'm, when it's muted. I want to make sure I'm not just getting echoes or anything like that, so I'm going to do it right now. If you didn't hear anything, it's all good. If you did, let me know. That's it. And meanwhile, I will continue playing the game. So this game actually asks you to confirm everything you pick up. I'm assuming at the early point in the game, much like Resident Evil, there was an inventory sorting system, like you could only have a certain amount. But there isn't. You have infinite capacity. Well, not infinite, but you're basically at bottomless pockets, but you can only have a certain amount of stacks, like you can only have 200 bullets, stuff like that. So there's really no reason for it to ask you to pick stuff up, but they left it in just because it kind of looks cool, and I actually like it. I like looking at the stuff I pick up. Also, there was a little subtle thing you may or may not have noticed, which is actually I think it's pretty well done. Before we continue playing the game, let's look around this room. It's one of those games where you can just interact with stuff, look at it, see what he has to say about it. It's pretty nice. Excuse me. Really quickly save. And there's a little canon explanation as to why he's actually doing that. I'm gonna go ahead and save to the first memory card. The second memory card is full of a bunch of different saves. I should note that I have played and beat this game before on the PlayStation 3 version, and because I'm using PC version, I just grabbed another save so I would have a clear version of it, because I actually did want to show off some New Game Plus stuff. It's not the sort of thing where it's like showing it off would ruin it. It's mostly just for myself. I just want to see some stuff. That's it. It's nothing that'll ruin the experience, I assure you. Let's grab a couple things. Kitchen knife, very nice. And a health drink, which is just like a small heal item in this game. And really quickly, I'm just going to do a mic check. Okay, you should have heard me tap it. Everything's good. Like I said earlier, I don't expect too many people to show up, because I've never really streamed before, but hey, it's always nice to see if anybody's around. Before I do anything, though, let me, oh yeah, I should also note that I should also make sure that I don't, have, the cheat things on, so let's turn that off. Yeah, actually, no, before I do, I'm going to show it off, because this is something I didn't know was actually a thing the first time I played the game. There's a, here, let's see if I can actually get it. let me equip a gun real quick. Okay. So this is kind of the normal way of viewing things. You kind of just move the camera around Harry. It's not really in a locked position. It can be kind of confusing at first, but it's pretty neat. This is the normal camera, and then I'll really quickly mute my mic. Excuse me. Like I've said, I have minor breathing problems, so sometimes I just have to stop to catch or to like cough or something. So don't worry about that. All right. And here is the self view, which you can only get from beating the game once, I believe. I don't remember off the top of my head. Which is actually pretty cool. Which, oh yeah, I gotta change the buttons. Self view is an over-the-shoulder camera, which is basically like the older Resident Evil games, which I find kind of interesting, just in retrospect. And it's pretty nice, because you actually get a close-up view at everything. Even though it's, oh, 1 second. Even though it's very, you know, the graphics, textures, all that are very low quality, it's still really cool to look around because there was a lot of effort put into all these things. We're going to be playing the game the way it's normally supposed to be played, but I guess if there's something I want to show off in particular, I could always look at it. Also, I exited instead of actually looking at the options like a goof. Yeah, don't worry, we will start the game proper in a second. I just got to fix some things. Like, first of all, we're going to have aiming set to R2 just because of the type of controller I'm using. I've been playing the second and third games recently because I've been playing them in order, and yeah, I've gotten used to R2 being aim, so yeah. Gotta go over here. This bullet adjust is also a thing from beating the game. It literally just increases the amount of bullets you pick up. Like, usually, like, handgun bullets be a stack of 15, 30, 45, 60, and so on. It's just an easy mode type of thing. It's kinda goofy, and I keep it turned off. But you only get it from beating, or you can only have it from beating the game. So I guess if you were having trouble, you could do that. I'm gonna turn the background music down a bit, and maybe the sound down 1, because it's one of those games where I can't tell if the voice acting is constant or if voice acting counts as sound effects. So I want to lower down it just a little bit just to see, because you always want the voice acting to be like the loudest thing. Anyway, I'm going to actually start now. Well, here, let's check out this red thing first, see what it is. Yeah, just the radio. He doesn't really have anything else to say about it, so let's just move on.
What's that? Huh. Radio. What's going on with that radio?
And without much of a warning, we are immediately attacked by the first enemy. So let's get away from him.
This is not a dream. What's happening to this place?
And he's dead. Okay. A gameplay mechanic we're going to see pretty soon is that enemies don't usually stay dead. And we're going to grab this radio. And again, I'm noticing that the frame rate is a bit lower than it should be. And it's not because of the recording software. It's because of the emulation itself. And it's not like my computer is bad or anything. It's just, yeah. I remember it being slightly better performance than it is right now, so I'm just saying that as something to note. May just be that I don't have the best setup. So yeah, that is our first clue. We are going back to where we were in the prologue sequence, which Harry has... in fact, I'm not even sure if it was actually a dream or what. But that seems to be the explanation, is that he had a dream and he woke up there. Also, looks like we got some stuff right over here. Another thing I should note is because I'm playing a New Game Plus version of the game, there are a few bonus items that will show up that we would not otherwise see. There's some that I don't actually want to use, because I would kind of consider them cheat items, but it'd be nice. Like, I want to get them just to show them off, but at the same time I'm not going to use them frequently, so if there's anything I miss, keep that in mind. Maybe I either don't know about the New Game Plus item, or I just simply don't want to, because for the most part, I'm just showing off the normal game, and then I'm going to show off some bonus stuff if I come across it. So for the most part, the doors are not interactable. You just walk up to them and you see nothing. And in the first game in particular, if a building was interactable, it would usually be color-coded. Like, if you just see, like, the building I try to interact with, it's that kind of pinkish orange color. Like, it's negligible, just means not like noteworthy or interactable at all. Sometimes you'll see those, like, dark yellow-looking buildings, which means they're somewhat important, but at the same time might not be interactable. Like, the cafe is yellow. And that's mostly because it's just it's a hub. It doesn't really lead anywhere. And then there's these blue buildings, which I'm pretty sure usually means you can actually get inside. Okay. Bye-bye, Jojo Fine. Thank you for showing up to help me test things out. Oh. Let's get away from that guy. Yeah, the radio goes off whenever you're nearby an enemy. It's actually something you can turn off. It's just a way to let you know if an enemy is around, or even if an enemy is alive, because, like I've said, enemies don't necessarily stay dead unless you finish them off yourself. So yeah, let's just grab some supplies while we're here. I don't remember if there's any items in particular here that are of importance besides, like, just bonus healing items and stuff like that. And I think that's just a dead end. Oh, nice. Better healing item. So, again, I should note, I have played and beat this game once, but it was about a month and a half ago that I beat it, so there's actually, stuff's not fresh in my mind, but I do, for the most part, remember what I'm doing. Also, I'm going to save, I like to cycle my saves between, like, 2 different slots, so I'll just do that. But, yeah. Alright, so let's actually start heading toward our objective. I don't think that guy's gonna bug us, so I'm not gonna bother. Unless he gets closer. I'm actually gonna check my map real quick, make sure I'm going the right way. I am not, but while I'm heading this way, I might as well show something off. So yep, we come upon a dead end, which if I check my map now, is marked in red. As we go along the map, and every map in the game, not just the hub worlds, we will, or our character will actually automatically mark the map for us, which is pretty nice, because then you keep track of stuff. This guy's going to be a pain in the butt, so I might as well take care of him now. And that is how you finish enemies off in this game in particular, is you just run into them and you kick them. And you only have to do it once, I believe. And I'm saying that because in the later titles they do kind of change the way it works. Particularly in the third one, where kicking just does damage. It doesn't actually outright kill people, so you have to... You can't really be in the mindset that it'll just outright kill them. But that's a different game with its own set of rules. I won't get too far into it. Yeah, so the radio's still on, because this guy can actually just get back up in a few seconds. So you gotta go over, you gotta stomp him once, and then you make sure he's dead. Also, here's our Jeep, which we actually started the game in. Oh, nice. Anything else in here? Nope, just repeating the dialogue. Yes, something I am noticing myself is that whenever there is dialogue or a cutscene, the frame rate does seem to dip a bit. Hopefully that's not much of a problem. I don't remember it happening in the normal version of the game, so it might be worth looking into. If it's a problem, or if it's bugging people, I will. Also, 1 second. Again, hopefully you're not hearing me. It seems there aren't really too many people at the stream right now, which is perfectly fine. I'm mostly just doing this on my own as a relaxing thing. But yeah, sorry if I look a bit silly and my mic isn't actually muted. It's just I've heard many conflicting things about whether or not people can still hear stuff while I'm muted. So I'm cautious, and I'll find out once this is done anyway. I'll just check the archive. while this is a survival horror game, I do know from experience that the game does give you enough ammo to take care of most enemies, especially if you're a decent shot and stuff along those lines, so that's why I'm not too afraid to just outright kill some people. And speaking of which, I'm getting low on ammo because, you know, to start off with, you don't have too much. So, I'll try to be a little bit more conservative with it. Trying to remember where ammo is usually around, because you will find some just lying around. If I run into a dog, I might have to actually take care of it, which I think I'm gonna. Actually, no, I don't think there'd be any ammo here. Oh, there's a dog. Yeah, I remember there wouldn't be any ammo here because we've already been here. So let's just. Oh, nope. I don't think so. Oh goodness. That's tank controls for you. Sometimes you just run into a corner. So, yep, we're back here where we were at the very beginning. Doesn't look like he has anything new to say, though. So, let's just head back the way we were earlier. No, he didn't do it. Crap. Okay. Brand commented, I can hear the PC audio because of something that happens with the mute button on the mic, but I can't hear you. Okay, that's fine. It's mostly just myself because I cough or whatever, and I don't want people to have to hear that. It's irritating. So yeah. But the fact that you can still hear stuff, like apparently you can hear my computer just like echo, that's disconcerting, but not really a problem, or too much of a problem. But yeah. Thank you for pointing out, bud. So I've been recording for about 25 minutes. Okay.
Is it the Cheryl sketchbook? She's at the school.
And now we have our first real actual goal, is we gotta get to that school. But unfortunately for us, the route is not nearly as clear as it looks like on the map. As I said earlier, when you run into a dead end, he will mark it on his map, and we're going to be running into quite a bit more of those. I'll just put it that way. This map is not nearly as open as it seems. Also, we got a pipe, which is very nice. It's a picture of me. Yes, I'm sure it is, Harry. And that is it. You can't actually pick that up. He just leaves it there. But yeah, the alleyway we went through during the nightmare sequence is actually collapsed. We can't go that way. In fact, I think he doesn't mark it. It's just a dead end. And the funny thing is, we can actually get to the direct other side of that collapsed point. I think there is stuff there, but that's later. So for now, we are going to try to find our way to the school. Now, because I don't remember exactly where stuff is, I'm just going to point it out now that we are going to come across an area which we will need 3 items to pass through. So, I'm going to get to work on trying to find those. And you get away from me. Ah, crap. So yes, you can outrun enemies in this game, but the dogs can run faster than you can, and the birds can kind of hit you as they're running. So it's kind of a way of you have to learn how to outmaneuver enemies. Like the dogs will miss really easily if you're not just going in a straight line. Also, I'm currently remembering that. Okay, let's see. Actually, yes, I should do this now. I remember one of the items I need is actually over in this direction. You get away from me. Yes, you can kind of fake out the birds. Or, they're not called birds, I forget what they're called. I think they're called air screamers. You can kind of fake them out by just stopping when they're about to hit you, because they will actually overshoot you. And, yeah, this guy's faster than I am, so he's still kind of going. They will eventually give up if you get too far away from where they originally spawned, or if you kind of get into a tricky place. Mostly if you're in the open, they'll keep following you. Eventually they do kind of lose sight of you. And I could take them out, but I'm actually trying to conserve my ammo at this point. So, there's not much to see on the screen, but I assure you we are actually heading somewhere. Let me check where we are on the map now. Okay. So, let's check this bridge and see if it goes anywhere. But get away from me. I might have to just kill this guy just because he's not really going away. And like I said, they do give you, at least in normal, you have enough ammo to take care of most enemies you come across. Okay, yeah. There's more than one. I don't want to have to deal with a bunch of them. Yep, there's another one. Okay, this guy's already down, so let's finish him off. And where's the other guy? Oh. Yep, and if you can time it right, you can kind of shoot them and stun them so that they won't actually kick you when they fly over your head, which is a nice way of avoiding damage. Alright, very nice. So now that we're here, find some pistols on the ground, which is very nice. And we find a key in a police car. Now, at this point in the game, we don't know what the key is for, but thankfully the game is not harsh, and you can actually pick up stuff you don't know about yet. Like, you find a key, you can use it later. We don't know what it's for yet, though. Also, one moment. Alright, so now let's see. How about we go south on Elroy Street, see what we find there. The thing about the Silent Hill games is that you kind of want to just explore around a bit, and you actually want to find dead ends. You want to, like, check all the doors, you want to check everything. Because while it is, for the most part, linear, you're put into a lot of open areas, and you're free to explore. Like, think of most of the areas you go through in this game as like a Zelda dungeon or something along those lines, where you're, for the most part, you're stuck in this confined area, but you're free to go through rooms and stuff as you please. Alright, we've come across another dead end. Where are we now? Especially in the overworld, you're going to have to be checking your map frequently just to keep track where you are. When you're in buildings, you don't really have to deal with the fog. Not nearly as much. So, you can kind of just remember where you're at, which is nice. It's just the overworld itself is very hard to see in. Actually, before I go that way, I'm going to look around on this street, because I vaguely remember something being here. Again, as I've stated, I've played and beaten this game once before, and it was very recently. Okay, I'm just seeing what that is. So, I'm not necessarily lost. It is simply, I don't remember what I was looking for at this point. And I won't spend too much time on it either. Also, I kind of just aggroed a guy, which, not a good idea. Yeah, you go away. Before you claim that the AI in this game is too easy, keep in mind that's not something you'll really know at first playing this game. I had to actually find that out on my own, that you can just kind of stop and backpedal and they won't be able to hit you. It's a timing thing, and at the same time, these are one of the most basic enemies in the game. They won't actually... That strategy won't work on really anyone else. I'll let you know that now. And this game does have a good variety of enemies. But for now, we only have the two. We got the air screamers, I believe they're called, and the dogs, which I actually don't remember what they're called off the top of my head. I'm checking this alleyway because I remember, where are you coming from? There you are. I'm checking this alleyway because I remember there being bullets in here somewhere. And if there aren't, then I would have just wasted them on this guy. So I'm going to continue looking around this alley really quickly. At this point, I don't know if I'm going to play through the whole game or anything along those lines. It's mostly just 'cause I wanted to show off the game, how it looked, stuff like that. But, I'd like to. It's a very fun game. But at the same time, I would want to be better prepared, because you don't... No one really likes watching a guy struggle. Especially, like, in a puzzle game or whatever. Like, this game does have some pretty complex, difficult puzzles. Also, I didn't see any bullets, and I'm kind of like, aw. And I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm probably gonna end up looking at the results or the solutions instead of trying to remember how to solve them, because again, it's mostly out of convenience. I've done it before. That's the most I'll be able to tell you, and I can't really prove it. It's mostly out of convenience for you. I'll just outright say it. If I can't remember how to solve it off the top of my head, it's probably just because I'm dumb. I am saving you, I assure you. Okay. Okay, now we're back at the cafe, which is pretty much where we started. Okay, let's head south here. I'm pretty sure most of these streets along... What's the name of this street we're on right now? Most of the streets along Mathis Street to the south are going to be closed off. I think I remember that. Also, before I head this way, let me check over here, because I noticed that this there's a little dead-end alleyway that might have some stuff in it. And I swear to God, if that stuff is just dogs and no bullets, I'm going to be upset. Ah, crap. That's one thing to note in the first game in particular, is if you shoot too fast, you'll actually miss. It's a thing to note, is that the firing is actually automatic. Like, if you hold the X button down, you will keep shooting, but like every other shot will miss. It's I don't know if it's intentional or not, but yeah, you want to take it slow. And I did not. I wasn't patient. So don't do what I did. Yeah, turns out it was worth checking there, because there was actually 30 bullets. The good thing is, on normal at least, the enemies aren't bullet sponges. Your average enemy takes 4 or 5 bullets to kill. So as long as you don't miss, you'll be fine. It's mostly when enemies are in groups where you kind of have to worry. So we're just gonna stay along Matheson Street, I believe is the name of the one we're on right now, and then just look around and head toward our first objective. Oh crap! How that didn't hit me, I'll never know. You're gonna... Oh no, he's actually dead. Okay. You can actually kill most enemies just by outright shooting them. Oh crap. Ooh. Did it. Okay, now he's dead. Damn it. I'm not the best at dodging sometimes. I'll just say that right now. And now he's done. So yeah, you can outright kill enemies by shooting them. If an enemy is in their weakened down state, they will actually die in oh, 1 second. They will actually die in, like, 1 shot from anything. But they also die in 1 kick, so, you know, you want to save ammo. But a strange thing to note is I believe the game actually keeps track of how many enemies you kill with melee and how many enemies you kill with firearms. I think no matter what, if you kill them with a kick, it counts as a melee. So, for the most part, it doesn't really matter. It's just a statistic, but there is actually a rating system when you beat the game. You're based on a set of stars, and if you get 10 stars, you will actually unlock stuff. Well, not just 10 stars. Like, 10 stars you unlock everything, lower stars you unlock more stuff. I'm actually surprised how little damage I have to do to kill somebody. That's like, yeah, like 2 shots knock these guys down. It's mostly because I've currently been playing the 3rd game. And I won't talk too much about it because it's an entirely different thing on its own, but enemies take a lot more damage in that one. So yeah, it's actually kind of refreshing. And if you don't want a refreshing survival horror game, you could always put it on hard. Yeah, I am being a bit overzealous and just outright shooting people. There's a dog nearby. I can kind of tell because of the static. So yeah, again, if you shoot too fast, you'll kind of always miss, which is what was happening there. So again, it's my fault. I'll just say that. It's because I keep forgetting about it, and at the same time, I'm not very patient. So another part of the key of the game is trying to remember not to just constantly shoot things. Okay, got a little memo that says Doghouse on 11th Street, which I'll check there in a second. Is these interactable? I guess not. Okay. Alright, so, oh, excuse me. So, Doghouse on 11th Street, which is actually a street we were just on. So, let's actually go back there and see if we can find a doghouse. It appears that's the same type of paper that we found in the alleyway, which I can only presume means was that the note was left by Cheryl. Okay. So doghouse is not on this side of the street, so we gotta continue along the this other intersection. Or if it is on the street, I must have missed it. And don't worry, if I did miss it, we'll be back. Don't freak out. So we're keeping an eye out for a doghouse. Oh, found dogs, which means there's probably a house nearby. Oh! I see the house now. At certain points in the game, especially early on, you'll probably be encouraged to just outright run away from the enemies. But because I'm going to be coming back and forth the hub world for a little while, it's better for me to just kill them. And because I'm more confident in, oh, yep, there's a house key hidden there. I'm kind of confident because I played the game before, I kind of know how much ammo I need, stuff along those lines, so I'm okay with killing these guys. Even though I haven't tried interacting with most of them, I'm just going to tell you now, almost all the houses in the game are locked. Excuse me, are locked. So, pardon me, I'm thirsty. Yeah, hopefully that isn't loud and obnoxious or anything. Let's check this room. Oh, it's just outright locked, okay. Let's just ransack it for supplies, see if we got anything good here. Yeah, unlike games like Resident Evil, items that are interactable aren't necessarily obvious. Especially since this game does not use pre-rendered backgrounds, you kind of just have to know what type of items you're looking for. Like, this is what a bullet box looked like. It kind of just blends in with stuff in the background, but, you know, I recognize it, so I pick it up. It's not really a problem in this game. There's very few times where I've looked at something and been like, I don't think I can interact with that. But at the same time, I always try to interact with everything that looks out of the ordinary. Really quickly before we continue, let's just save. And no, I'm not going to be conservative with saving. This game does not use ink ribbons. There's no limit to how many times you can save. It's just a rating thing, so I'm not afraid of looking like a scrub, to be honest. So I'm going to save every time I run into one of these notepads. Also, 1 second. Yeah. Hopefully nothing got hurt. Oh! Looks like I got a map by this door. Very nice. So we copied that map onto our own, but before we actually check, let's see what this is. Okay. So we found a door with 3 locks on it, and apparently the key to the lion was one of them. And this is the only key, or the only, this is the only place standing between us and the school. I can go to Finney Street and try to get over there, which I am, just to see if there's any items there, but that's, I assure you, this little area here is cut off from this area here. So, let's actually head back and check out those, actually I'm gonna look at it myself, check out those places marked on the map. So, this is marked, that's marked, and we've already been there. So, looks like this place on Elroy Street and this alleyway might have something we probably missed. And at the same time, I remember it said, I'm going to check the map again, just because it said something along the lines like Keys to the Eclipse. I don't know if that's, I don't remember that's marking that place in particular. Yeah, I don't think it is. Yeah, it's written over the alley where we found, or we tried to follow Cheryl, so I am pretty sure it's not actually marking anything there. It's just text. So the only area in this little hub we haven't really checked out is the left side of Finney Street. Well, not really left side, the west side. So let's take a quick look there, see if there's any items, and then we'll go see if we can find those 2 keys. And it looks like there isn't really much in the way, which is nice. Yep, as I said, it's closed off. It's there are a lot of dead ends in this game. It's not open world. The hub world, it does a pretty good job of being a closed off area but feeling more open. But yeah, this little area here is just a little place we can run around and just find stuff. It's pretty well made, I say for myself. Alright, so let's head back to near the cafe. It's going to take a minute. So, yeah, let's just enjoy our walk. The good thing is these hub worlds don't really involve that much backtracking normally. In fact, I would say it's not really, it's not necessarily that well done how they introduce this at the beginning of the game, because this is probably the only time where you'll find at least in this big open area, it's probably the only time you'll find like a locked door, and it'll be like, here's where the keys are, where you've already been, so go there. For the most part, you find things as you go along. So, hopefully anybody watching who's interested does not think that is a false, like, false... I don't know what the word is, but, like, you don't think that's how the game works, because it really isn't. It's just this early area that involves a lot of backtracking. Okay, where is this key? I actually don't remember off the top of my head, so we'll be here for a minute, because it should be here in this alleyway. Oh! It's over here. I hope nobody saw that earlier and was probably like yelling at me out. Let's see if this is first. Ah, health drink. Very good. Key of Woodman. Very nice. Okay, and what's this? A dog's head. Oh no. Can I actually look around on this one? No, you cannot. In the second and third games, if you go into aim mode like this, you can actually look around with the right stick, but currently I cannot. I don't remember, it's not a feature, or if it's just because of the way I set up my controller. Alright, so now we have 2 out of 3 keys, so let's actually go back to Elroy Street and check that dead end out, because there might be something there. And then we will actually be done with this first section of the game, which will be pretty nice. And because I killed most of the enemies off, they aren't respawning or anything, so I just, it's pretty relaxing. Oh, looks like there's a couple people over here that I didn't kill. Alright, well, I don't want this guy bugging me while I'm trying to get that item, so let me take care of him real quick. Okay. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you won't actually be able to tell where you are in relation to enemies because of the way the camera rotation works. Oh, ooh, he got good. Alright, which way are you coming from now, bud? Huh? I guess he gave up. But he might come back. Usually if they get far enough away that the radio statics can't be heard, they actually forget where you're at. Which is a gameplay mechanic that we will see later. And here we have the final key. So we are practically done with this part of the game, which is nice. So, without anything really left to do, except look around, let's head on back to the, that one empty house. Which I believe is at the end of this road and then north. Yep, on 11th Street. Excuse me. Actually, I'm going to check to see if I can get on the, I remember, yeah, the other side of that alleyway at Matheson Street. I'll see if I can, if there's anything there. I remember there being something, but there might not, so let's check that real quick. And after this first section, once we get to the school, stuff starts to be a bit more Oh, goodness. He came at me quick. Stuff starts to be a bit more closed off and a bit more puzzle heavy and exploration heavy. Oh, God. I actually didn't time it right that time. It's usually harder to time when you're going the wrong way. Oh, goodness! I was deceived. Instead of there being an item, there's actually more enemies. Well, that's what the other end of that alley looks like. Let's just run to the exit. We don't really have any reason to deal with these guys. I'm also going to check my health, because I haven't actually healed the whole game yet. Where is that doghouse? I don't think I ran past it yet. There it is. But, yeah, this first section is almost over. Then stuff stops being so open, and we're going to be in, like I said, would pretty much be considered a Zelda dungeon. Things will be a lot more marketed toward avoiding and taking care of enemies in an enclosed space. Which is, oh, goodness! Yeah, I should have probably kept an eye on that. Might as well use a large heal now, since I've always had that thing in video games where I'm very frivolous with my larger healing items, so I just use all of the small ones. And then I run into situations where I have like 90% health, and I use a large one because I have nothing else left. So I don't want to be wasteful. If your health is red, you're safe in using the large heals. They're called like health drinks and med packs and stuff like that, but I say that to simplify it because then people know what I'm talking about. It's a good thing I checked though. I was almost dead. And earlier in the cafe we picked up a flashlight, but we weren't actually able to use it until now. Unfortunately, you can't just use it whenever you want. You can only use it when it's actually dark. So yeah, it's suddenly become night instantaneously, which is disconcerting. So we are a lot closer to the school now. But before we actually go there, I'm gonna explore a bit. But once we get to the school and we get to a safe location, I think that's a good time to take a break, check out how everything turned out, and yeah, stop the stream for that. So yeah, we're actually heading south to the school, so let's head north and just check things out. This game, and most of the games in general, kind of reward you for exploring. But at the same time, there's also traps. Oh! Like, you're just as likely to find a stack of bullets at the end of a dead end as you are to find 3 enemies waiting for you. So, there's always risk versus reward. Am I missing him? Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. Seems there's a bit of pop-in with the draw distance when I'm at night. Another thing I don't remember happening. It might just be an emulation thing. I'm trying to make this as close to the actual experience as possible. Like, because this is an emulator, I can't actually smooth things and texture filtering and all that. But I actually want it to look exactly how it's supposed to. So that's why I've decided against, excuse me, I've decided against making everything all not pixely and stuff like that. I guess this is an emulation issue. Yeah, you can kind of see the edge of the, I guess you'd consider them cells, which I assure you is not necessarily normal. Usually the fog draw distance is actually pretty well done. You wouldn't really be able to tell where it ends. So again, that is an emulation issue. I apologize. But the good thing is, at least for right now, we're not going to be outside too long. In fact, we're only going to be here for a little while. Oh, hey, Raddick! I see you are posting anime GIFs. Oh my goodness. You missed a lot of times. And I thank you wholeheartedly, because now I will be constantly distracted by an anime GIF in the corner of my eye. Is that a Tuhu? Raddick, do you like Tuhus? You don't fucking know. You can ask Speedy. Speedy probably knows. But yes, as I said, there is some popping going on, which I will actually look into after this section's done, because that is not supposed to happen, I assure you. Luckily, our destination is literally in a straight line, so let's check this one street and then just head toward the school. How about you go away? I don't want to have to deal with you. For real though, the goddamn Raddick, that GIF is so distracting. You have no idea. It is really intrusive. It is not supposed to be that way. It's actually, when I first played this game, I was actually very impressed by the graphics. Like it is no exaggeration. It's the best looking PlayStation 1 game I've ever seen. I haven't played every PlayStation 1 game, but it is actually like, it looks really good. And at the same time, I didn't want to like, I wanted it to look the way it's supposed to, so I didn't install any graphics mods or anything like that. But yeah, that is really bad poppin'. The good thing is, we are actually at the end of this open world segment. Like, this part was really short. So once we get into the school, we won't have to deal with that. So I will look at that up on my own time. But now, it's no longer a problem. So yeah, I apologize. I am actually trying to show this game off the way it's meant to be played. So, hopefully that did not turn any of you away from the game. Because that is, if you play this game, I actually encourage you to buy it. I don't encourage you to emulate it. I understand if you have to. Not everybody has a PlayStation 3 or Vita or PSP or whatever. But, it's a very good game. I actually think you should pay money for it. Even if it is for Konami. Konami is, as we all know, currently not doing well. Anyway, let me see what's going on in the chat. Okay. But yeah, Raddick, I know you just kind of showed up, but everything actually looked fine until the nighttime section outside. Inside's actually been looking pretty good. Like, yeah, no popping, nothing like that. It's just for that one section. So I'm gonna look at, if I actually do continue string this, I will look that up myself to make sure that's not gonna be a problem. But this is really one of the best looking PlayStation 1 games I've ever seen. It's got a nice attention to detail. Like, even though it is really low quality textures and stuff like that, everything is pretty detailed. You can kind of tell what everything is. It's very nice. I like it a lot. Alright, before we go to where I know a safe spot is, let's just look around a bit. Alright. That's I see you posting images. I forgot I gave you moderator privileges, and I hope I don't regret it. So yeah, we're finding some pretty vague clues, and currently we shouldn't have any reason to know what these mean, but they are worth keeping in mind. So, some clues about time. Maybe that'll be more important later. One moment. So yes, these are all hints. There's times, something about gold and silver, and something about their locations. I remember that. Like, I mean, just look at this. Look how detailed that is for a PlayStation 1 game. You can actually kind of tell what that is. And if you can't, he'll describe it. It's a picture of a door. You know, I don't think you're one to judge here. You're not an artist. You're a writer. And really, last thing in this room is box bullets. And let's look at our map. And we can see that he is currently marking things on the map, which is very, very helpful. So from this point onward until we actually exit the school again, this is going to become kind of a... sorry, I gotta mute it again. Yeah, sorry again. As I've said, I kind of have to cough or do whatever because I have breathing problems. Oh, it's locked. And if we check our map right now, He even marked it. You'll also run into doors that are jammed. In this game, a door that's jammed outright means this door will never open. The door that's locked means it will open, just not right now. Also, we don't want to go there right now. I was just going there to mark it on the map. That's also a thing you should do when you play this game, is you should just go places to mark it on the map. Like, if you go through a room and you're not done, you should just turn back around and continue checking it out, just so you know where you can go on your map. I know you don't care, Reddick, but I know a lot of people do. Nobody really wants to hear that in the ear. Anyway, there's another save point, which means this might be a good time to put it up, because I want to take the time to look over the footage, see if I can fix that pop-in issue and all that. Unless there's any objections, but I think everyone will probably agree it's a good time to put it up. Get here rapey as possible. But yeah, this has been the first section of Silent Hill, and I think the school is probably where like the real fun starts beginning. The first open world area was kind of a kind of a let you do as you want tutorial, kind of showing you how things work, give you free access to stuff you'll need, and keeping things simple. Like, there's not really any puzzles in the first section. It's literally just there's 3 keys. Here's where they are. Go get them, and then come to the school. And now in the school, we're actually gonna start running into puzzles, and hopefully I either remember how to solve them or I remember the solutions. Because if I don't, I'm gonna look dumb. And you know what? I am pretty dumb. I'll just say that right now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this has made you actually want to check the game out, and I enjoyed myself. I'd probably like to continue this sometime soon, if anybody is interested. And then I can show off the parts of the game that I actually think are much better. Not to imply that the parts before weren't good. I think these parts are actually pretty good in general. So yeah, that's been all from me. My name is Red Talon. You can find me on YouTube. You're probably watching this archived on YouTube, because I'm going to be uploading on my streams there. And I haven't really done much before. I don't stream. I've never really streamed. I have, but years ago. And I haven't actually made a YouTube video in quite a while, and I think this is fun. I think this is worth doing more, so hopefully you enjoyed. Anyway, I will see you later. Goodbye.